It's 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Our first item is a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sarah, can you read our mission statement?
The mission of the Marshall Public School District is to educate, support, and prepare all learners for success.
Thank you. Our next item is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Sarah Runcie and a second by Sarah Brink to approve the agenda. Any corrections or additions? If not, I'll call for the vote. And the agenda is approved. Next item is our Tiger Spotlight. We're going to recognize a teacher, Mr. Wes Myers. Jeremy's going to do this.
Yeah, so we want to recognize Mr. Myers this afternoon. He was nominated by a fellow music teacher, by Larry Peterson, for going above and beyond to expand our music program. Mr. Peterson knew that he had to offer more introduction to guitar classes for the increase of students, but didn't know how to teach it himself. Mr. Myers took Mr. Peterson through the class and taught him skills that he teaches the students so additional classes could be offered in that department. Mr. Myers showed great mentorship skills and leadership skills during this process and has been an incredible resource to the MHS Music Department. Says Wes always goes above and beyond, and we wanted to recognize him and appreciate what he did. So let's give him a hand. And Wes, if you come up front, we have a certificate for you as well.
Do you play in a band, Wes?
I did for a little while. I do city band.
Pardon?
City band?
Yeah, good.
I never did the relay.
Thanks again.
Thank you, Wes. for
Thank
all
you,
do.
Wes.
Our next item is recognition of our students. We've been doing this since last fall, I think, where we recognize a student from each building. How we do this is when I read your name, if you could stand the student, and I will read a short bio, and then at the end, I have a certificate for you, and we're going to go back by the banner back there and take a picture of all of you. So our first Tiger Spotlight is from Parkside, Amaria Waugh. Nominated by Tiffany Lisi, Amaria Waugh was selected as this month's star writer because her writing has continued to improve throughout this school year. This reflects her dedication to her letter formation and sentence structure. She is a sweet girl who is always doing her best and working hard at becoming an excellent student all around. She enjoys writing, and it shows. She comes up with wonderful ideas to share on paper. She does a good job completing Parkside's 5-star sentences. These sentences include a capital letter, finger spaces, ending punctuation, all while being sure she sounds out words and uses neat handwriting. Amaria is very rewarding of this nomination as she has grown in her education this year. Congratulations.
You should look pretty in that dress too, Amaria.
So what we'll do, Amaria, is after we've read all of them, then we'll come back and give you a certificate and take your picture. Okay?
From Southview, Braden Noose. Nominated by Mrs. Felsen, Braden is very friendly and kind to all. He shows compassion and empathy towards his classmates. He works hard in class by asking questions, participating in class discussions, and completing his work on time. He has learned to advocate for himself and find confidence in many academic areas. He is a pleasure to teach. Congratulations, Braden. Next, from the middle school, Jackson Rumney. Don't know if Jackson's here. I'm going to read it anyway. Jackson, nominated by Mrs. Vermont, one of Jackson's most admirable qualities is his willingness to actively participate in classroom discussions and activities. He eagerly engages with the material and is always prepared to share his insights and ask thought-provoking questions. Moreover, Jackson goes above and beyond to help his classmates, especially by helping during group work. His kindness and patience make him a valuable asset to any learning environment. Not only is Jackson a dedicated student, but he also exemplifies outstanding character traits. His friendly demeanor and positive attitude create a welcoming atmosphere for both students and staff alike. Jackson's considerate nature and genuine interest in others make him a joy to have in the classroom. Congratulations, Jackson. Next, from the high school, Julia Pathko. Nominated by Mrs. Snyder, Mr. Maxwell, and Ms. Kalicki, Julia Pathko is described by her teachers as an exceptionally motivated student with a strong commitment to academic success. Known for her well-organized approach and diligent work ethic, she consistently strives for excellence in her studies. Beyond her academic pursuits, Julia exhibits kindness towards her peers and readily offers assistance when needed. Despite her quiet and reserved demeanor, her teachers note that she may not receive the acknowledgement she merits due to her modesty. Nevertheless, Julia's dedication and willingness to support others make her a valuable asset to her academic community. Congratulations, Julia.
What year are you, Julia?
Ninth.
Ninth.
And finally, from Maytech, Cheyenne Benson. Nominated by Mrs. Elton, Ms. Basemeyer, and Ms. Richardson, Cheyenne has been a great addition to our Maytech student population this year. She is kind to everyone, works hard, and wants to do well. She transferred in as a junior with enough credits to potentially graduate by the end of this school year. She has been motivated all year and has worked hard to achieve this goal. Mrs. Elton shared, Cheyenne works hard to complete her work at a high level. She asks questions when she doesn't understand and will make corrections when needed. She is kind to others, pleasant to be around, and easy to talk to. She has been a great addition to our Maytech student body. Ms. Richardson shared that Shy treats everyone with acceptance and respect. She is focused on grading and doing whatever it takes to make that happen. Ms. Basemeyer shared, Shay has been great to have in class. She participates in conversations and discussions. When she is absent, she is always proactive to know what she will miss and get it done. She works hard, asks great questions, and continues to care about doing well. Congratulations, Cheyenne. You all can meet me back there by the...
And parents, if you want to go by and take pictures at this time, you could do that as well.
Congratulations. Brady. Congratulations. Julia. Yes. Congratulations. Get out of the way.
Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for coming. You're welcome to stay, but you don't have to. So.
Thank you for coming. Good job, kids.
Our next item is a public forum. Is there anybody from the public want to approach the board? Seeing none, we'll move on to our presentation, the CEO program. Welcome, Shanda.
Thank you. You have my presentation. Bring it. Yay. Do I use this?
Okay. It's been a big week for Shanda. They've got a big week for CEO. I know the kids are excited. I've got one at home.
It is a very big week. So I apologize, I don't have any students here because they're all working on the trade show for Wednesday. So you're stuck with me, but I think I'll probably do it justice. So I'm Shanda Walker. For those of you who don't know, I'm the facilitator of the CEO program. We are in our second year this year, and last year was our first year. We had 18 young professionals participate. This year, in our second year, we have 9, and next year, which we'll talk about as well, we have 20 accepted for the next year. So just a brief overview outline of the CEO program. CEO stands for Creating Entrepreneurial Opportunities. So it's open to high school juniors and seniors. Presently, we have 3 different school districts that participate in the program. So it's Marshall, Tracy Area Schools, and Murray County Central Schools. For the 2024-2025 school year, RTR will also be joining our program. So there'll be 4 schools represented. Each year we visit anywhere from 30 to 50 area businesses, and we host anywhere from 30 to 40 guest speakers. Those numbers are actually much higher for our program. And really the emphasis is on 21st century learning skills. So we are taking the young professionals out of the classroom. We are presenting them to the businesses in our community, the stakeholders in our community, leaders in our community, and they are helping them with everything from how to start a business and be an entrepreneur, but also how to do things like make eye contact, shake hands, talk to somebody not over a cell phone, writing thank you cards, writing business proposals, doing budget, profit and loss statements, all those types of things. They get a lot of practice in public speaking, which they love so much. And they also get the opportunity to be paired with a mentor from the business community. So the mentor and the young professional work together. It might be on their business plan. A lot of it has to do with their business and helping them make networking and connections. But sometimes it's also just an additional adult in the community who can provide them with kind of some support as they're going through, because it is a very intense and stressful program. It is the full academic year, and it is 5 days a week, and we meet at 7:15 in the morning for 90 minutes. So it is a lot. It's very rigorous. They meet 0 hour and first hour, and because of all the school districts represented, there's travel involved as well. So it's nice that they have the people in the community who are supporting them and holding them up. And then we host an annual trade show at the end to highlight the student, or to showcase the student businesses, which is, as Jeremy mentioned, coming up this Wednesday. So these are just the students that we have. Like I said, 2023 was our first year, our inaugural year. This is our current class that will have their businesses on Wednesday, and then we look forward to hosting the class of 2025 next year. In terms of the breakdown, if you're curious, last year of the 18 young professionals, 15 were seniors, 3 were juniors, and 15 were from the Marshall School District. This year we have 9 young professionals, 5 are seniors, 4 are juniors, and 5 are from the Marshall School District. And for the class of 2025, we have 20 young professionals and 7 from Marshall. Maybe 8. So as I mentioned, a lot of soft skill development. They get to talk on the radio. They go, they speak at Studio One. They have presenters come in and they make them shake hands in front of the group and smile, and they do elevator pitches in elevators, and team building, a lot of work on communication, which we know is an imperative skill, and one that's not easily taught in a classroom or in a collegiate level class. Tours and speakers, like I mentioned, we're all over Lyon and Murray County and soon to be Lincoln County as well. So it's everything from businesses such as Slayton Business Materials Building Materials that's been established for almost 24 years to Five Family Ranch, which we know is just in its first year. So they get a really good representation of both up-and-coming businesses, small businesses, sole proprietorships, as well as large corporations, Touring Relco, Runnings, True Shrimp, and the like. One aspect of the class is that they have a class business every year. Last year, they had the Minnesotified brand, which they had sweatshirts, mugs, coffee thermoses, stickers, and a few other things. This year, they decided to kind of run with that concept and also develop their own brand. So they developed Living the Dream. When they create their class business, they're doing all aspects of that class business. So they design the logo, they came up with the name, they build the website, they contact various different manufacturers to order the products, they price the products, they sell the products. This year they had a lot of pop-up events in places where they were lugging around a whole bunch of product and selling them, and then, of course, having conversations about if something's not selling, do we discount? How much do we discount? All that kind of stuff. So I will say this, CEO is a program that is all over the United States. It started actually out of Illinois. And there's 70 programs across the United States. Very few programs actually take the class business and make it what our young professionals have for Lyon and Murray County CEO. Many do the dreaded fundraiser instead of a business. And they often do maybe an event, maybe they host a comedy night, or maybe they host a 5K fun run or something like that. We're one of the few programs that runs an actual business where they are taking everything and making it more than just a one-day event to raise money. So I'm incredibly proud of them for that. Both years they've been profitable. They haven't lost money, which our investors really appreciate, because as you may or may not know, we are funded by business investors. So when they write their check for their $1,000 commitment that year, they probably like to, obviously there's a learning opportunity there too, but it's good to see that they're learning and making money. And then I mentioned the mentorship. So mentors can apply to be mentors at any point during the year, and then we, in the beginning, in the fall, we pair them with a young professional who they're most likely going to be paired based off of their DISC assessments. So everyone does a DISC personality assessment, and so some more shy individuals may be paired with a more dominant mentor to help kind of bring them out of their shell a little bit, or vice versa. Sometimes the young professionals need to be reined in a little bit. So we have dedicated mentor meetings, so they meet as a large group, and then they break off into small groups or one-on-one individuals as part of the class once a month. And then the mentors also are encouraged to check in with the young professionals via email or phone on a weekly or biweekly basis. So one of the most exciting things for me as their facilitator is these are all businesses that were presented at the trade show last year, so May of 2023, and these businesses are all still in operation. So as you can see from the 18 businesses that were presented there last year, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 businesses are still in operation. That's a pretty good margin, if I do say so myself. And as you see, a lot of these individuals are Marshall natives. Not that all of them are operating only out of Marshall. For example, Braxton Seifert does auctioneering all over the state of Minnesota. Chloe Stevens, she is in South Dakota now. But she still sells her product and ships, as does Anna Booker. So I feel like that's a really good indicator of the success of the program. Some of them are doing it full-time. If you haven't been there to Wings X yet, you should go. We're very proud of Jet for his success. And just excited that these individuals are so excited to stay in Marshall and stay in our community.
Are you good at throwing the axe?
You know, I could be better. I definitely could be better. Jet's really good at it, but he does have ninja stars and throwing cards that you can do as well. I'm a little better at the stars than I am the axe, so.
So Shannon, do they design their own logos?
They do. They either design their own logos. Yeah. They either design their own logos or for example, Christina LaCroix, KMJ's LLC, she has been running her own business for a couple of years now, and so she's gotten really good at using Canva, and so she'll help out those of her classmates who are less confident in their skills to design logos. But we do have, that's one of the speakers or a couple of the speakers that come in and they kind of workshop with them on how to use some of those tools so that they don't always have to, pay somebody to do that when they're first starting out. But the majority of them, yes, they design their logos themselves. So these are the businesses that you will see this year at the trade show, again, coming up in just 2 days. Epoxy Brothers Premier Flooring is run by AJ Haas, a Marshall senior. He does epoxying of garage floors, but he also does countertops, bathrooms, showers, and concrete overlay. So he'll have some samples there at the trade show so you can see his work. Christina LaCroix, also a Marshall senior. She has 3 businesses in one. She's very ambitious, young adult, and she does photography. She also makes her grandmother's special pecan cookies and specialty cupcakes, and then she makes homemade bracelets as well. MR Music, Live Music and Lessons is Mark Rabe. He's a current Marshall junior, and he plays the violin. You may have seen the article about him in The Independent about a month ago. And he is going to be offering live music for corporate events, parties, weddings, and then also offering beginning violin lessons. G7 Installations is owned by Junior Daniel Grun from the MCC School District. Daniel is doing installation of lights and cameras on ag and commercial equipment. Liv's Sourdough Bakery, that is Jeremy's pride and joy, Olivia Williams, Marshall Jr., and she has a sourdough business, so she's gonna have both plain and specialty loaves available for purchase at the trade show, and then drop dates at different times throughout the summer. KC Kicks is actually a partnership between 2 of our young professionals, our 2 students from Tracy, Kanatau, and Crystal Angel. Chris had started a business during COVID, buying and reselling specialty shoes, which is something I knew nothing about, but it's a pretty big market for people who like specialty shoes. So I'm not very good at speaking about that because I truly don't know much about it, but there are very limited edition shoes out there that they work on procuring and then obviously selling for a profit. So Above Epoxy Custom Tables is owned by Senior Owen Gillette of MCC. He does the custom live edge wood epoxy tables. So he has end tables, full-size kitchen tables, and sofa tables. And again, we'll have some samples there and then product available for pre-order where you can pick your colors and the type of wood that you want, and even all the way down to the legs of the table. And then Jenna Nemeth's Cottage Confectionery. Jenna is a Marshall senior as well. And she will be making, or she does make, caramels, marshmallows, gummy bears, and cookies. So come hungry when you come on Wednesday because you can definitely eat very well. So just to kind of bookend this, like I said, the trade show is coming up this Wednesday. It's at Atero, formerly True Shrimp of Ballatin. Investor and parent invitation is from 4 to 5, where we'll do a little recognition program, and then 5 to 7, which will also be in conjunction with a Marshall Area Chamber business after hours. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I do have 2 email addresses now because I'm also the community engagement coordinator for Marshall Public Schools. So that's why I'm busy, because we're also putting on a career expo for the middle school on Thursday. So yeah, any questions from anybody?
So is 20 students about the limit, or is there room for more, or do you turn people away, or?
We had 27 applicants.
Okay,
We had accepted 22. Two chose to wait until they were going into their junior year. They chose that they were going to try again for their senior year to participate. And then a few on the wait list and only one denied. From the space that we have available to us typically with these businesses, 22 would probably be about where we could realistically host them at most places. And even that would be pushing it. So then it would, some programs that have been around, they're called legacy programs that have been around for 5 or more years. Because it's so popular in their communities, they offer it 2 times a day. So they'll have a morning program and an afternoon program. So that would be the better option rather than having a group of
sure.
40.
Do they have to be in good academic standing to stay in the program?
They have to be in decent academic standing. So you don't have to be, a straight A student, but when the students apply, they do have to get approval from their counselor that they would be a good fit for the program and don't have issues with absenteeism, that kind of thing. But you don't have to be, a 4.0 student or anything.
And then I would assume that they don't really do they have time for other extracurriculars? Because that's an intense obligation.
It's very intense, and actually, funnily enough, most of them do other extracurriculars. Maybe quite a few of them are athletes. Some are not from this class, but last year we had quite a few that were also involved in BPA or FFA. And so it's a balancing act for them for sure. A lot of time management. Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you,
Shanda, thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank you very much, Shanda.
We'll see you Wednesday afternoon.
See you Wednesday.
Next item is our consent agenda. I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Jeff and a second by Anne Marie to approve the consent agenda. Before I call for the vote, I want to have a couple thank yous in the consent agenda. I want to thank Action Manufacturing for their sizable donation to the CTE program, as well as all of our donors that have donated to that program. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So thank you for all those. Also, I know this is not his last meeting. He may have 1 or 2 more, but I want to thank Dion for his many years of service to Marshall Public Schools. Dion has been instrumental in our facilities upgrades, including the selling of West Side, the construction of Southview, and the expansion of Parkside, as well as many other smaller projects, while also making sure we remain financially stable as a district and explaining school finance so we as board members can mostly understand it. So thank you, Dion. Appreciate all that you have done. I will call for the vote. You're fine. And that is approved. Our next item is approval of the bills. I'll make a motion.
Second.
There's a motion by myself and a second by Sarah Brink to approve the bills. Any discussion?
We had one more bill come through for the middle school IAQ project that really should be the end of the building construction fund unless we open up something else. And then the health insurance, I'll talk a little bit more on the next information.
Thank you, Dion. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. That is approved. Next item is information on the treasurer's report.
I just wanted to point out, we've got a nice trend going on our health insurance fund balance. February was around negative 246,000. Last month, it was down to 111,000, and now it's down to 45,000. With the payout checks and the increase in the insurance premium, I think we should see a turnaround soon.
Thank you, Dion. Next item are board updates or reports. Anybody have any reports? If not, we'll move on to our administration reports. Jeremy.
All right. In my report, I just want to share that we had a little setback with some asbestos finding at the new ALC location, but that's been completely abated. We're back, construction's back underway. Big thank you to that construction team and the partners for their work handling that. We're looking forward to that move take place this summer. We plan on opening there this fall. With Celebration of Staff Excellence, we'll be hosting that again this year, so I want to make sure to invite the board members. That's Friday, May 31st. I'll start at noon in the high school cafeteria. If any of you are available to attend, we'd love to have you join us for that. The whole staff will come, and we'll celebrate the longevity awards for staff, and we'll celebrate our retirees that day. There'll be a meal provided, and those awards will go out at that time. In early childhood, she shares that Teacher Appreciation Week was pretty special at Parkside this year. Staff had a number of treats that were provided from different places. Some donations from parents helped make that happen, so a thank you to them. They had like a popcorn bar where parents brought in things and some beverages that parents provided. So fun events at all the schools celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week. We really want to say we appreciate all the teachers and the dedication they show each and every day. Parkside also shares that kindergarten students recently hosted a Grandparent and Special Friends Day. That was a lot of fun for the kids and for the grandparents. They had some activities they did and some treats and such for the people in the Parkside cafeteria. Southview shares, it's that time of year, it's all the end of the year fun activities taking place. Second grade students are visiting the Curry Railroad Museum. That will take place this week. Last Friday, the third graders had a new field trip. They went to the Watertown Zoo, and that went really well. The weather was perfect for a trip to the zoo, and we had a lot of parents, volunteers that helped make that all happen. Fourth grade also has a variety of activities like they do at the end of every year. They're heading to the middle school. They've been doing that, get the kids over for a tour and get to see the school they're coming to. They're doing a talent show this week, and they have their carnival at the end of this week. So that's always a fun end of the year event for the fourth graders. They're also planning on taking the fourth graders to the pool next week. That's something that Mrs. Subi has organized for a few different years. So the pool opens up and the kids get to go out and do a little swimming. So that'll be fun. Pete also shares, along with some of our other staff, they sent some teachers from their piloting team to the National Bar Conference. That was April 23rd through the 25th. They got to talk to some other elementary schools that are implementing bar and just getting started in that journey. They came back feeling really excited that we were on the right track and excited about the work that's taking place there. We have a 3-year grant that we received that is helping cover expenses for the implementation of that program. Middle school, they shared that the high school ACT students visited 6th grade students recently. They shared information about harmful effects on alcohol, vape, tobacco, and cigarettes. A great job interacting with the students, and sometimes some of those messages are just well heard from high school students as well. Middle school also had 7 staff members attend the bar conference in Palm Springs, California. They learned a lot and are sharing more information with other staff as they came back. Everyone came back pretty excited from that trip. That implementation will continue in the 24-25 school year at the middle school. High school also has a lot of things to share. Earlier this month, we were notified that for the 6th consecutive year, Marshall High School has been named a top Minnesota high school by U.S. News and World Report. He also shares that on April 27th, we hosted prom at the high school. A big thank you to Gretchen Stelter and Nicole Jans, as well as many high school staff and parents that helped make that event happen. That was a fun event, and it went really well that evening. Scholarship awards ceremony, some of you were at that. That was last week on Wednesday. Took place at the high school. It was a nice evening showcasing the generosity of our community and accomplishments of our class. Pride and the Tiger donated over $200,000 this year in scholarships to students. So just a fun evening celebrating those kids and recognizing their achievements. The Honors Convo is tomorrow, Tuesday the 21st. That starts at 8:15 in the morning. It's a fun morning where students in grades 9 through 12, the entire high school, is recognized for academic achievement. Incoming and graduating students from the Minnesota Honor Society will be recognized, as well as recipients of the Activities Achievement Award that will all take place tomorrow morning. And additionally, senior students who have earned the honors graduation cords and tassels will be receiving that information at that point. So board members interested in attending that, you're welcome to come for that. And then the 136th commencement exercises will be held on Friday, May 31st at 7 p.m. That will take place at the high school in the gym. Studio One will be live streaming the event for those that would prefer to watch remotely. All board members are encouraged to be there with us for that event. Great to have school board members present as we recognize our seniors as accumulation of all the years, and that's what we build all the kids up for. So fun event that evening. Maytech shares that students in the automotive and welding classes had an opportunity to take a couple of college visits this last quarter. At the end of April, on the 26th, the students attended a trip to Minnesota West in Jackson, learned about different programming that Minnesota West has to offer. They also have other business tours lined up to finish off the year. They're going to Bendrite and to Marshall Machine Shop. They've done a lot of fun different little trips with those kids and just getting to experience different things related to the fields that they're looking at. Maytech also shares that their graduation is this Friday, the 24th. That'll happen at 2 p.m. at Maytech. So you're welcome to come to that too. You guys are going to be like the whole next 2 weeks off from your other jobs to come and attend all these things. Activities, a lot of things taking place there. One thing I want to highlight is the students recently took an activity survey. They had 61% of students report that they participate in different activities. That's an unduplicated count of students. There was interest in a few new activities, so Mitch is going to be taking that to the activities leadership team to talk about the areas that some interest was expressed in, and talking about how we can get more kids involved in different things, and just what some follow-up with those different pieces might look like. So we appreciate students taking that and giving us some feedback on activities taking place. He also shared that spring weather, we've had a lot of rain. Looks like there's more in the schedule for this week. Certainly meant a number of rescheduled things, but the last couple of weeks have gone better, and we've gotten back on track with different things there. We appreciate everyone's flexibility and patience as we work through that. In Beth's report, she talked about Shanda and some of the work she's doing. One thing Shanda talked about CEO this evening, but she just kind of touched on, we are hosting a first annual career exploration day for 8th graders that Shanda's been organizing different employers to come in. They're going to look at different areas on the career wheel, so students will get to learn about some different occupations that happen right here in town and how that aligns to some different interest levels that they would have learned about as they've done some career assessments and such in the middle school. The CEO investors, we also were invited recently to the kickoff event. Shanda had shared about the students that are coming in for next year. So that kickoff event induction ceremony took place the beginning of May. And the trade show, again, she mentioned, that's Wednesday night at Itero in Ballatin. In special ed, Jackie shared about a program that took place this year that was pretty exciting for a group of our kids. We had some students that we partnered with a vocational rehabilitation program of Private Industry Council and SMSU, and students got to work on transition skills and job skills preparing for experiences after high school. These students went to the SMSU 3 days a week, and they worked in the dining center. They had jobs in the dining hall, the dish room, the sub shop, C-store. They tried a variety of different things. Just a really great experience for our kids to get to go over there and learn all these job skills in an on-the-job training kind of setting as a whole class. Students, they highlighted some of their favorite things were meeting and working with their coworkers at the college, those job skills, developing some independence and being away from school for part of the day. And of course, they got some treats because they were working in the dining hall, so that was fun for the kids as well. Great experience for the students and created some new partnerships. It was really, really well received on both parts, and we appreciate the partnerships to make that happen. Finally, in Mary Kay's report, she shares the American Indian Advisory Committee. They had their annual spring event on Wednesday the 8th. That happened that evening. All American Indian students were invited to attend with their families. We had about 50 people show out. I know in her report she had some pictures of different things that evening. They had some food and some different craft projects and such they did, and it was a good evening for that group of students. Deanne, that brings us to yours.
Just point out a couple of things. We've had a few MDE audits coming through. We had a food service audit that takes place every 5 years. Jill really has done a majority of the communication and sending information. The MDE person was actually on site last week and indicated that she didn't suspect that we'd have any major findings in that. We also received a survey, which was much like an audit from MDE on Title II. Leanna and I submitted that information, and we'll hear back in June. Hopefully, we don't get any corrective actions on that. And we somewhat suspect that some of the other title funds will have audits too. It's kind of the impression we got when we were on the call with MDE. Just an update on our short-term investments. It's been about 1.5 years since we started doing the investments again. We're sitting at about $142,000 in interest that we've earned in that 1.5 years. Gave some updates on the theater renovation. Kind of officially starts with demolition on Wednesday, the 22nd. We've got, I think we have everything in line. We're still working on the back wall acoustical panels with the fire rating. Since the middle school is not sprinkled, we have to make sure everything is fire rated and have the approval of the fire marshal in the city. We believe we have that, but we thought we had that before, so we'll see where that ends up. The budget is actually about $52,000 under budget, and that has about $10,000 in contingencies. So, and that includes doing the sound system, which we hadn't planned to do until phase 2, so that'll be done. And then I just listed some of the other LTFM summer projects that will be taking place.
Very good. Thanks, gentlemen. Next item is our first review of policies 506 to 507.5. Any questions or discussion on these?
There's a new one in there this time about school resource officers. This is in alignment with some legislative changes following last year's. There was some confusion with SROs and what their roles are within schools, so this clarifies some of that. And then the discipline ones were red line changes that really line up to the work that goes with that new legislation.
Thank you. Next discussion item is second review of policies 501 to 505. Any questions on these? Moving on to our action items. Our first one is approval of the Hoffman and Brobst fiscal year 2024 audit services.
So move.
Second?
There's a motion by Bill and a second by Sarah Runcie to approve Hoffman and Brobst 2024 audit services. Any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. And that is approved. Next action item is authorized to dissolve the Director of Business Services position and post and hire for Director of Operations and Director of Finance positions.
I read both of those job descriptions over before this meeting in Jeremy's office. I think they're very well written, and it makes a lot of sense in terms of operation and helps us have a greater understanding of how many hats Dion has had to wear. He's had a full plate plus. I think the job descriptions, even though it's additional expense for the district, but I think both positions will enhance the way we do business. So I move approval.
Thanks, Bill.
I'll second.
Thanks, Jeff. There's a motion by Bill and second by Jeff to approve. Any further discussion?
Sure, this would be a realignment of the position, and certainly appreciate everything Dion's done and the work he's done over the years, and realization we need to split some things up a little bit and make this work going forward.
Is some of this related to the size of our district?
Certainly the size of the district and just the number of pieces we've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'll call for the vote. And that is approved. Next action item is approval of the superintendent's incentive compensation for 23-24. We talked about this at the governance committee meeting the other day, and we think Jeremy's done a fine job in his goals this year. So I will make a motion to approve these.
second.
Any further discussion? I will call for the vote.
Thank you, Jeremy.
And the meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.